well, I never really watched the show. I had seen one episode. It was of season 3, you know, the one where they all came from different states and stuff, and it was a rerun on Bravo, because it's like the best station ever, and besides NBC, of course. And so I was watching it thinking, what is this show, you know? And I was watching them all scream with pain, with the noises that we all make. And I said to myself, oh no, never, I don't care how fat I get, I will never ever want to do that. And maybe, what was it, 1 or 2 summers later, Jen comes up to me, because I'm her fattest friend, and she says, what are you doing August 20-something? And I said, I don't know, I'm going to be here at camp, obviously. Well, why don't you take a day and come in the city and audition for Biggest Loser with me? I said, all right, not doing anything else with my life. You know, I graduated college in 2006. I was a waitress, eating fries all the time. And so I didn't really have anything better to do, so I went and auditioned with Jen, and thankfully we got on the show, and I managed to lose 70 pounds. Yeah. But everybody kind of looks at The Biggest Loser as like this big, huge change that is this great process, and it is. It is an amazing process. We've all been through a big, huge, dramatic change in our lives. However, it happens so fast for us. Where normal people lose 2 pounds a week, and that's great, and that's healthy, we were losing 10, 16, 8, 9, crazy amounts of weight per week.
Oh, sorry.
Which is great, but kind of scary, because one day you weigh 239 pounds, and the next 2 weeks later you weigh like 215, and you're kind of just like, what just happened? You look in the mirror, and you don't even have time to process the fact that you were 20 pounds heavier 2 weeks ago. So it's kind of this really fast change. And so as much as I am thankful for The Biggest Loser, for the fact that it's changed my life in so many fantastic ways, it's such a mental process that a lot of us are kind of, I think, still dealing with, just because it's so fast. And so my thing is, I just don't want you guys to look at the show and think that that's how it's supposed to be. Like, if you don't lose 10 pounds in 1 week, you're not doing your best. Because a ½ pound in 1 week is better than you were doing 2 months ago when you were gaining a ½ pound a week. So my message to you all is that it's not a speedy, fast process like The Biggest Loser, because like Jay said, we were working 6 to 8 hours a day in the gym. And who has time to do that? We didn't have phones, we didn't have internet, we didn't have television. We had each other, and you kind of get sick of that. So, you know, besides that, it's like Jillian or Bob is in your face saying, did you do your hour this morning? And if you say no, you get ripped to pieces. So you do your hour, they come, they rip you to shreds, and then you do your homework after they leave, and that's it. Yeah, crawl into bed, and that's your life for however long you're on the show. So just know that patience really is a virtue when it comes to weight loss, and I think that give yourself props for any amount that you're losing per week, per month, and just know that if you're trying your best, then you really will see results in the end. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Hey guys.
You know, it's funny, this is the first time, I'm Kelly, from their season. First time I've been able to hear all my friends talk, and there's a lot of similarities in the things that when I am blessed to be able to talk to people that we've all learned and we all share. I started at 273 pounds, size 24, and I know this sounds vain, but I shop at Dillard's down home, and that's the biggest the sizes are there. And that was kind of like a turning point for me, is I couldn't fit into any more clothes. 24 is the biggest it gets, and 3X. and I didn't know where I was going to find my clothes. I took pride in how I looked. I did my makeup and my hair, but I was still, like he said, a heavy woman. I was overlooked. I didn't exist in men's eyes. I never felt so insignificant.
Wait a second, there was one man.
There was one man. That's how I got on the show, because I decided, we had in Paul's and I's relationship, who I was on the show with, I had had 3 miscarriages and 2 ectopic pregnancies. And there's something that makes a woman feel less feminine when you don't feel you can bear children. And the doctor says, we know it's related to your weight. We've not suffered enough of a loss to lose a child, but then for them to say it's because you're heavy. So now somehow it's my fault. So you take that internally, that affected our relationship, and I stepped out of the relationship with Paul, and now I'm a divorced, overweight, almost 40 woman. I felt terrible about myself, and I decided that I've got to do something. I've got to change my life. And I'm going to give Biggest Loser the opportunity of having me. So I went to this open casting call and sat there in this line of like about 1,000 people, and I waited all day, and I got up there and I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, well, we're pretty much taking couples this time. Is there anybody else that you would be interested in applying with? And I scratched my head and I thought, well, like you guys. So my ex, and the guy's eyes get really big. He's like, your ex? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, do you guys get along? I'm like, no, he's my ex. We don't get along. So as the time goes on, he's like, well, what kind of personality is Paul? He's like, I am.
He's
so
memorized by name. He's totally going to pass the psych test. Totally.
Yeah, he passed that psych test. So then when I said he was a ham, they're like, do you have a picture of him? And the only picture I had is in a digital camera from before we were divorced, and it has Paul, 5'3", 300 pounds, in a Speedo. There's an eye store, buddy. Don't lose your appetite here. But I mean,
why did you keep that on the digital camera?
To bribe him later or something. But I mean, Paul has a great sense of humor. This was about him doing this commercial, and anyhow, so it really is what propelled us to get on the show. It was, and I knew that Paul and I would drive each other. I obviously knew the buttons to push, and we were able to do it because Paul still loved me, which ended up, now we're friends. Paul is doing very well, for the record, of anybody that wants to know. But I had to do it for myself, and when I got there, I didn't want to rely on Paul, so I kind of bonded with Jenny, which ended up kind of, she got to go home, and then I bonded with Amanda and Neil, and they went home. It was a sick my little sister.
I wasn't going to bond with Jeff.
I got friendly with you in Australia, I think.
Not that kind of friend.
If you were friends with Kelly, you got voted off.
Everybody says that I changed. I started
in the Bahamas, though.
Hey, you guys.
No, sorry. You said it.
Here.
Okay.
But no, I'm kidding. I love Paul. It was really important. When Paul went home, I focused on myself. And I mean, you didn't have internet or TV or newspaper, nothing to distract us. So we only got to focus on ourselves and what got us to this point. And as a nurse, and as mothers, and as women, and we give, we're givers. And I don't know, there's something about being heavy that I have like a people-pleasing personality. I want people to like me, so I'll do everything for them. And at the end of the day, I was a daughter and a nurse and a mate. I wasn't a spouse at that time, but I wore every hat anybody wanted me to be, I could be it. And at the end of the day, there was nothing left for me. I was exhausted, and I was everything everybody wanted me to be. When I went on the show, it was the most selfish thing I've ever done. And I put me first. And that was the first day of the rest of my life. And I was blessed to have the opportunity to work with these guys and lose 109 pounds. I got to 112. I got home, and you know, people, like Maggie says, we didn't see the change in us. I mean, because there's no mirrors on the ranch. So now all of a sudden I'm home with these people, and I'm a different Kelly. Everybody's kind of expecting the same Kelly to come back, and I lost some friends. I lost the man that I was with, which ended up being a blessing because now I have a man that wants to have a family, and we're thinking about getting married here in maybe the next 6 months, and I'm truly living the dream. I'm going to have kids. I am a better mother, or going to be a better mother. I'm a better nurse. I'm a better daughter because of this show. It was a blessing, and I'm truly living the dream still. And I'm honored that you all came just to see us. Thank you.